everyone, and this is FantasyEsque, and welcome back to the Sims 4 Vampire Amazon Royal Saga with the Salazar Coven. We are picking up in the throne room with a brand new member that has joined the court following our priestess's unexpected death in the previous one. So let's go over what we saw in the mini-movie. We started off with our entire coven, the royal court. We started off with them outside at our graveyard on the castle grounds that is very quickly growing, and it wasn't supposed to contain 4 graves. It was just supposed to be like the one grave of Meredith. But all these freak accidents recently, because of our visitant half-breed spellcasters that don't have any idea what their powers are doing, because of them, it's grown. And it's gonna become like a full-on graveyard, I feel like, at this rate. So hopefully we hit the brakes at full. But the queen was kind of paying respects along with all the other members because Catherine kind of had a special identity. As the queen mentioned, Catherine was not only a priestess, a very capable priestess, she was a sitting council member, and she was also the queen's first wife. So they were paying their respects over there. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but almost everyone was sad and upset and in mourning, for Catherine, except for Azora and for Catalea. Now, I find Azora's one a bit weird because Azora was the one who started having feelings for her and was a little bit obsessed with her, and I feel like all of these deaths kind of started with that, because that's the whole reason Azora got into a relationship with Juno, and then the frustration from that is what started manifesting her visitant powers. So, yeah, maybe she just hasn't processed it yet, but I found it a little bit strange. And then, of course, Catalea. And even though Catalea was really good friends with Catherine, we know that, she had been competing with her for a long time over Queen Eden's attention. So she's probably really happy to now be the queen's only wife and, to be promoted to the position of, first wife and then being second mother. So she probably is happy with the turn of events. And then following that, we had the court assembled in the throne room, and the queen was saying that even though our loss of Catherine is still fresh in our minds, in our hearts, we can't leave the role of priestess vacant. So I have brought in new blood to fill that up, to join us. And so she asked the new member to enter the throne room and present herself to the court. And this is where we met Lady Lexie Julian. So we have new blood with us, guys. And Lady Lexie Julian was created by Sweetheart 2016, so thank you so much for your submission. Remember, if you guys have vampiresses you want to create for me, just make them whenever and wherever, and make sure you use the hashtag FantasyEsque. So in the future, when we have situations like these, I can look through the gallery and see the sims that you guys have submitted. Now, normally, I pop in the sim that I've chosen, and I kind of leave them for an episode or a bit of an episode in their normal state, the way you guys made them, and then the episode after, I give the new members a makeover, or I help them go through the ascension. But in this case, I just gave her a makeover, so she's already been made over. I will leave the creator's name in the description, so you guys, if you want, you can download this sim in your own game, but just know she probably won't look anything like this. I didn't change any of her features, and I didn't change her skin coloring and her hair color, but obviously I've given her a CC makeover so that she looks more in line with the kind of vampiresses we have in the coven. And she's got the sharp ears, she's got the ascension eyes, all of those kind of stuff. So let's dive on in and take a look at her. Now, when she entered, the queen also said that her wife was a very capable priestess and much loved, so there is a lot for Lexie to live up to. And Lexie said that she would do her best to deliver what's expected of her. So let's dive on in. First of all, I kind of want to take a look at the genetics that we are working with. I mean, at this rate, who knows if she will even get a chance to continue her bloodline? I don't know. Feels unlikely. But, you know, there is that possibility because the breeding season isn't over just yet. So Lexie, her outfit, definitely more of a kind of darker vibe, which I really like with that lace. But she's got a dark pink theme to her outfits. She's got an olive skin tone, she's got brown hair, and she has red eyes. So there we go. That is how she looks. She's quite lovely. And different, I feel like, from the other members that we have, which is nice. I will admit. In terms of her personality. So Lexie here, guys, is a genius. So we have yet another very intelligent lady joining us in the court. She is a music lover and she is ambitious. Now, because she's priestess, obviously, you know, with her being really intelligent is probably why she was chosen by the queen to take over Catherine's role, because she needs to know her stuff very well. But being a music lover, I imagine she loves hymns and prayers and chants, because, you know, she is a priestess, and probably like religious poetry and whatnot. She's super into that. And then her being ambitious, I feel like for Lexie, she has this determination. Like, she knows she is capable. She just needs a chance to prove herself. And I don't feel like she's ambitious in a manipulative way that Catalea is. I feel like for her, it's more like, I am going to be better at my role than my predecessor was, acknowledging the fact that her predecessor, Lady Catherine, was already such a great priestess, and so she wants to step up to the plate, but do even better than what Catherine was doing, so that she is, you know, kind of honoring Catherine's memory and picking up like the load, carrying the mantle, and doing good. She doesn't want the court to basically regret her arrival and her replacement of Catherine. So that's kind of her motivations for certain things. So I feel like she's going to take her priestess role quite seriously, and she's going to do her best to make sure she ensures there is peace in the coven. And Grimmy's here with us because Catherine's death is that fresh. Grim Reaper is still here. And that is pretty much it for Lady Lexie. So let me know what you guys think about her. Now, in the intro, I'm pretty sure her quote is, "I must do better than my predecessor." So yeah, she's ambitious. She's ambitious, but she definitely seems to me like she's a good force that has entered the coven. There has been times when we've had uncertain characters like Catalea entering, but then with Lexie, I feel like she's more of a force that we don't have to be overly concerned about, I'd hope. At least I don't think so. It doesn't seem that way. She seems like a good force that we have, not an evil or conspiring one. So okay, I will let our coven members go ahead and do what they want to do. Now, obviously, Elaine, in the previous episode, she was planning to make her move, you know, and possibly share information with Juno to start bringing her over to this side. But then we had another freak accident. We had her twin sister dying this time around. Now, how does Elaine feel about that? Obviously, she feels the loss of Catherine, but I feel like it's very different to how Lagatha felt when Meredith died. Lagatha and Meredith were very close, and Lagatha was absolutely distraught. Whereas with Elaine, I imagine her as kind of a very closed off emotionally and cold character. So even though she and Catherine were twins, whenever she was reaching out to her sister or using her sister, I feel like she was leveraging a relationship that she couldn't control for its benefits. Oh, Grimmy is sitting on the throne. Well, hello, Grimmy. I don't know what you are trying to convey with that. Has death descended on the coven? Guys, I think we have officially entered the downfall of the Salazar Empire. I think there is no clearer message than Grim Reaper sitting on the Queen's flippin' throne. Yep, I think that's what Grimmy's here to tell us, that we have officially, like, entered the Empire's downfall from here on. And, we will very slowly and painfully start dying off, which is quite depressing, but look at him! Look at him! Well, letting that be a thing. But yeah, like I was saying, I feel like Elaine, she is kind of bothered by the fact that something so unexpected happened so quickly, and it's kind of stalled her plans once again, because now, you know, she had to wait for everyone to mourn, and then now she has to, like, rethink how she's gonna go about this, and then there's, like, a new character in the court, so it's kind of stalled her plans. But I don't think, and her, like, being sad here is her showing sadness, but I don't really think she's that affected by Catherine's death, because she never really saw Catherine as her sister in the way that Lagatha did for Meredith. Or even, I feel like Guinevere has more affection for Eden than Elaine does for her own sister. To her, Catherine was kind of just a name that was attached to her because they were born at the same time from the same mother, but really, she never really cared for Catherine that much. It was just someone who looked like her, and that's it. So, yeah, she's having to rethink her plans now, because, you know, suddenly there's more things to consider than there was originally. But I'm excited to see how Lexie is going to settle into the coven and who she's going to side with. Like, is she going to go more towards the visitants? Is she going to go more towards the pure vampires? Is she going to be, like, in between, sort of on Eden's side? And I suppose Catalea. I feel like Catalea and Eden are, like, in the middle. And then you have the pro-visitants, which is Eve, Azora. And then you have, like, almost like the purists, which I feel like Lagatha falls into. It's like Guinevere, Lagatha, and Elaine. So I don't know. Actually, if you guys have categorizations, tell me who you think falls into what category. I feel like there's 3 categories. There's, like, the purists, the visitants, and then we have, like, the pro-visitants, so purists, pro-visitants, and the in-betweens. So let me know, out of everyone in the court, where do you think everyone falls? Because everyone, you guys might have different opinions. Where do you think everyone falls? I am not entirely sure. But this is intriguing. This is very intriguing for me. Okay, well, Eve is, like, so sad. I don't even know if she's gonna be able to start her training. Like, this has been a very terrible start to her training, I feel. She hasn't really been able to get a move on and really do anything. Let's try and do some dark meditation. She can't exactly approach anyone here because, as well as her feeling bad, everyone else just feels bad. So nobody's going to be in the mood to train her. But I wonder if she can pick up a tome and maybe she can study a tome. That might be the way we go about with her education. Do we have... Okay, we have an encyclopedia. So we'll just get her to read an encyclopedia and kind of start working on her PowerPoints that way. But she has a bit of a long way to go before she's going to be anywhere near her sister's level. And she needs to be. Her sisters, they, within their teenhood, managed to get, I think, to the rank of master or grandmaster, and they just had to wait till their immortal birthday to win against Guinevere. But they were, like, ahead of the game. So hopefully Eve doesn't let her blood down, and she proves herself. So she's gonna get working on that, which is fine. And oh, we have some new whims with these ladies. Juno has a whim for Lexie. Okay, Juno wants to be friendly with Lady Lexie. You know what? I'm glad that Juno is being approachable. So she's gonna be friendly. Maybe complain about problems. She's trying to be approachable to Lady Lexie, the new priestess, which is nice. So we'll go ahead and do that. Hi. Okay, let's go ahead and say hello to Lexie. I think Juno's the first one who's approached Lexie in any capacity. She's the first one who's kind of reached out to Lexie. Come on, let's chat with her. Let's try, okay, complain about cloudy weather. Because she is in that mode right now. Complaining about the losses, complaining about how it just seems like the Empire's entered a bit of a dark kind of era because of all the deaths that have been happening in such a short span, and freak accidents as well. So obviously to everyone else it feels like the goddess is striking them down because they don't really understand what's going on behind the scenes. So okay, she's the first one to chat with Lexie, and I feel like that's quite nice. I should probably call over the other members, like the youngsters, so that we can socialize. Because Kyra wants to get to know Lord Ari. Okay, Kyra, where are you right now? You're up here. Well, I'll try and get all the youngsters inside. And then Lagatha. Is she... Okay, she's going to be in a third trimester soon. Not quite yet. But we do have the council reappointment. We have that coming up tomorrow. And right now, obviously, we only have one member in the council. We only have Lagatha because the other member, Catherine, died. So tomorrow I'll see... I suppose we'll see who ends up being the new council members, whether or not Lagatha is going to keep a position, but also who's going to replace Catherine. I feel like everyone would be kind of curious about that. Okay, where the heck is Ari? Ari, my boy, where'd you go? Okay, he's down here. So let's go find Ari. Actually, no, that's not what we want to do. We want to get to know him. Let's get to know Ari. Right, small talk. Come on, Kyra. Let's get going. Let's head on down. You've been wanting to chat with Ari for a bit, so we'll go ahead and do that. I want to keep an eye out for who else is talking to Lexie and who's being... I mean, she's kind of on her own. I feel like she is assured enough to not feel bothered if, you know, people aren't really fussing about her. I feel like that's not necessarily what Lexie's about. I feel like she is sensible enough to socialize with people when she needs to, and sensible enough to be on her own when she needs to. Yeah. I feel like that seems like a Lexie thing. Okay, nice. So she's spoken to Ari. I'll leave them to converse with one another. Lady Azora. Okay, now, so this is an interesting thing with Azora. Azora wants to flirt with Lady Lagatha. I don't know what her thought process is behind this, because we have just had Catherine's death. She and Juno are still in a fake relationship, but nothing's been happening there. And right now, Lagatha, you know, she's expectant, so I don't know what's going through her mind. What is happening? Lagatha? Are you and Griffin? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, if you guys know what may or may not be happening, feel free to let me know, because I'm not entirely sure. Lagatha is kind of given her heart to Guinevere, who is Griffin's mother. So even though she and Guinevere aren't officially courting one another, they do have feelings for each other, genuine feelings. But in that instance, Griffin would kind of be like a stepson. But now they've, I don't know what's going on here. There is something going on here, romance-wise, and I'm not entirely sure what it is. But I suppose maybe, things could get confusing because Lagatha and Guinevere have always had a bit of an ambiguous relationship that they've been clear on, but nobody else really has. And with Sage's death, Juno, they were kind of a trio. Juno's been avoiding Griffin, so maybe Griffin is seeking someone to talk to and companionship elsewhere, and so Lagatha is kind of a familiar figure, and things are kind of happening between them that probably shouldn't happen, but it's happening. Ay, ay, ay. And, I suppose Azora knows that Sage and Griffin were kind of Juno's focus, and maybe Griffin is giving attention to Lagatha, so she kind of felt the need to come in there and kind of break it up, and kind of be the, like, to break it up and kind of be like, because she's older than Griffin, to kind of show Griffin that Lagatha shouldn't be, like, on your playing field. She should be on, if anything, my playing field. So maybe that's what her thought process behind the whole interaction was. Okay, there we go. Right, anyone else? Okay, Catalea wants to stargaze with Azora. So I am not entirely sure what this is about, but she's been wanting to stargaze with Azora. So let's go ahead and do that. It is nighttime out, so it would be safe for them to go and stargaze with each other. Maybe she wants to talk to Azora about something. I'm not sure what it is, but I feel like that's what it would be. But it seems very much like Catalea, that when there is a power gap, when there is a power vacuum, and she's wanting to consolidate her position, she has these kind of deep talks with different people. She did it with Juno beforehand. Like, she goes one-on-one with people. She has these deep talks with them. She tries to, get their sympathy and build a connection so that they feel some sort of kinship for her, so that they feel some sympathy for her, or they feel endearment towards her. And in that way, she protects her position. And right now, there's kind of been this big power change, this power shift with Catherine's death. And she's kind of assumed that, so I feel like maybe... And you know what? Catalea in that regard is perceptive, so I feel like she would have noticed that Azora kind of had some strong feelings for Catherine that weren't reciprocated, and now that Catherine's death, she doesn't want Azora to fall into the same thing that Lagatha did, of hating her for replacing, Catherine's position as royal wife and stuff. So maybe this is Catalea checking in with Azora and having like a deep conversation with her, stargazing, reminiscing about Catherine with her, and basically showing her that we have this common connection in Catherine, and we both loved Catherine in our own ways, and we both adored Catherine, and she meant a lot to both of us, and we're both kind of reeling from her loss, so that Azora doesn't blame her for anything. Like, if Azora has any pent-up frustration, anger, she doesn't take it out on Catalea. They're on a friendly basis with one another. I feel like this is Catalea doing some damage control right over here. So, okay, she's gone ahead and done that. I think I'll jump back in once we are ready for the council, and then we can see who is gonna be the new council members for this next coming mid-season. So, okay guys, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, our coven members are ready in the throne room for the council reappointment, and we will get to that in a second, but firstly, we have some age ups that we need to take a look at, because they are the age ups of two of our females. So we have Princess Diana, who is now a child, and I'm so excited for her, and then we have Princess Bloom, who's now a toddler. They both kind of aged up at the same time. So I went ahead, gave them their makeovers. Diana has moved in with us at the castle, so that's really exciting. And I don't know what it is, guys, but I feel like every new child, I just like them more than the last child. I honestly don't know what it is. I feel the same way about Diana, and I kind of feel the same way about Bloom. So let's take a look at them, because they're waiting for us over on the side. Ah, they look so cute. These kids look so cute. Okay, so we have on the left Princess Diana with that platinum blonde hair. She's got the light skin that the Salazars have, and she's got yellow eyes. Oh my goodness, just look at her. Just look at her. Doesn't she look like a pretty kid? She looks pretty, I have to say. She looks very pretty. I mean, with Eve, I loved Eve's style and her coloring, but I think I did mention, like, I don't know if Eve has a typically pretty appearance, but I just loved her style. Whereas with Diana, she's kind of giving me Kyra vibes. Like, you know, when Kyra was young, we saw her and we thought, oh my goodness, she's drop dead gorgeous. Diana, to me, feels like she's gonna age up to be a pretty sim, so I'm excited for her. I just love this hairstyle. I just love it. But this is her. And then her younger sister, Princess Bloom. And oh my goodness, I did not even know toddlers. I mean, I knew they could be this cute. Every toddler we've had has been cute. But I don't know what it is about Bloom. Look at her. Look at it, guys. Maybe it's that really short, curled hair, but it is just adorable. Now, she I think she's Trista's daughter, so she has the purple eyes, and she's got the purple hair, and she's got the light skin, obviously from the Salazars. So these two, again, they look quite different from Eve. They look quite different from Eve. And, you know, they are different again from Kyra and Juno, but they seem more like princesses that would have been born into the Empire had the visitants not come. They kind of look like they fit in. And on that note, I do want to talk about, not Bloom, even though Bloom's adorable, I want to talk about Diana. So, Diana, she randomized the trait self-assured, which is the exact same trait that Eve had as a child. And that kind of tells me, given their, you know, shared history, that Diana, just like her older sister, is very proud of her heritage. She's very confident in her identity, and she has never felt the need to doubt or question herself, right? She's kind of grown up in that sort of comfort and assuredness. Now, when we moved her in, I think in the past I did say that I could potentially see Diana being a bridge between the visitant and non-visitant siblings, just because, you know, she's got the visitant heritage, but she doesn't look like one. And so I was curious about what was going to happen when she moved into the castle. And interestingly enough, guys, as soon as she moved in, she built a really good relationship with Juno and Kyra. A much better relationship than she has with Eve, even though that's there, but like it's a bit lower. Whereas with Juno and Kyra, it's noticeably higher. So that kind of made me think, even though Juno and Kyra have, you know, this prejudice against the invaders, I feel, and the, you know, invading blood, I feel like because Diana looks so much like them, and that kind of significant age gap between them, they kind of have this fondness for her and affection for her. So as soon as she came in, they quickly brought her over to their side and, you know, made her feel really warm and welcome, completely different to how it was for Eve. And I feel like in the future, if, you know, things go in this direction, I feel like they may overlook or choose to accept the visitant side of Diana solely because it's Diana and it belongs to Diana. And they have this adoration for Diana. So they're willing to kind of, you know, bend themselves and accept other parts of her that they might not like on someone else. It's not that they're tolerant of visitants, it's not that their opinions have changed, it's just that they adore and love Diana that much that they're willing to accept this part of her that they can't accept in other people. So that's kind of what I see going on here. I don't know how the attitude is going to be with Bloom when Bloom comes of age. I also like the idea that because Bloom and Diana are very close together in age, that they are going to have this like affection with each other because, you know, they're visitant siblings that look less like the visitants and more like the Salazars, and they're really close together in age. And I feel like Eve's kind of been left like awkwardly in the middle. So I don't know how that's going to pan out, but this is what we have going on. And I was really excited to share that with you guys because they just look so cute. And honestly, I remember saying when Eve was a child that she was my favorite. Now that flippin' Diana's a child, Diana's my favorite. And Bloom looks like she may be my next favorite. So, you know what? I just will not know until all of the kids... Because, I mean, hey, the kids and the toddlers are cute, right? I will not know for sure who I actually am on the side of or who I love the most out of all the kids until everyone is at least a teen. I feel like by that point, I'll more or less know like who I'm sticking with or who I like the most. But yeah, everyone's just so flippin' adorable. But okay, let us get the council reappointment going. So we're not going to waste too much time here. We kind of know the go. The queen is, from among all her subjects in the coven, going to pick her first council member. So, you know, this is the person who she has built a good rapport and trust with over the past season, and she wants to basically have them help her more closely when it comes to advising on matters of the Empire. So previously, Lagertha was in this role. Is Lagertha going to reprise her role? I don't know. Let's take a look. So we're going to go to household, and we're going to look to see... Oh, also, good thing to note, I think we mentioned that princesses who are immortals, basically any of the immortals, can serve as the Queen's Council members. So really, Juno and Kyra would be able to as well. But if we look at our relationships, look at that. It seems as though Lagertha actually has the closest relationship with her. So she's going to call up Lagertha as her first council member. So congratulations to Lagertha. She's obviously done a really good job advising the Queen and being of assistance to the Queen and supporting the Queen in the past season. And the Queen has recognized that and decided to keep her on. Now obviously we have what's going to be Catherine's replacement, because Catherine was the other council member of the Queen, but she has passed away. And let's take a look. So after Lagertha, it seems the Queen has the closest relationship with Guinevere. So the Queen is going to call up her sister, the champion, Lady Guinevere, to serve as her second counselor. So, oh geez. Lagertha, honey, come on, Lagertha, sit down, sit down. Sit down, Lagertha. I know Ari's over here, but sit down. Sit down. So once more, we have the duo of Lagertha and Guinevere serving the Queen. Which, I'm going to be honest, I really like this duo. I really like it when we've got Guinevere and Lagertha on the council, because I feel like they've got a good enough balance between making harsh decisions but being merciful. And I also feel like Lagertha, she's able to hold her own against Guinevere. Guinevere kind of respects Lagertha's opinion as well. There's like no imbalance of power going on. So I do like that. Okay, so that is pretty much it, guys. We have our new council members, but a good thing to note, I feel like Kyra and Juno are actually really close there in getting like the position of being candidates, because they have a really good relationship with their mother too. So, you know, by the time the next reappointment comes around, things might change. For now, though, the older generation, they still kind of have things in control. Oh, and for Diana, looking at her relationships over here real quick, you can kind of see that she's got a really good relationship with Kyra, Guinevere, and Juno. You look at this. And then she's got noticeably less relationship with Eve. So that kind of tells me that as soon as she's moved in, Juno and Kyra have taken a liking to her and they've kind of welcomed her really warmly. And I think that happened so quickly, Eve was kind of just left to see and observe how Diana's kind of going in a different direction from her. Even though she kind of expects Diana to fall in line with her, because, Eve is the one with the royal prince's blood. And previously, like, Diana's father would have been in service to Eve's father, but Diana's being welcomed by the older princesses, so Eve is kind of just left out on the cold on her own. I feel like Diana's sweet enough to also keep Eve in mind. Like, I don't think she would necessarily take sides, but I can see Kyra and Juno kind of like pulling her towards them and wanting her to be more like them because she looks like them. So I feel like they're kind of overlooking that she's a visitant. It's almost like they want to pretend it's not there because they like her so much. But as she gets older, especially because, Diana herself, she doesn't have a problem with her visitant side. I think it's going to reach the stage where Juno and Kyra, they're going to have to accept the visitant side of Diana because they love her so much. And Diana might make them a bit more tolerant of those kind of things through herself. So there we go. That's quite nice. So we have wrapped this up. Our adorable little Bloom is dancing over here. And you know what? Can we get the queen to give Bloom some affection? Can we, give her a hug? Let's snuggle her. And then we're going to dive back in when Lagertha's ready to have that child. When it's go time. But, oh my goodness, Bloom, you're so cute. I really like Bloom and Diana. I really like them. They're like a package and a kit, I just love them. So cute. The queen is still sad, of course. But okay, we are going to jump back in once Lagertha is ready to go, even though it's really early in the morning. Also, actually, before we head off, this episode might just run longer than we normally do it because I don't want to leave Lagertha's, the birth till a lot later. I would like to get it done in this episode, so I don't mind if we stretch a bit. But with Diana, the first whim she had moving into the castle was to befriend Lady Guinevere. And I feel like that would have helped put her in the good books of, Kyra and stuff. She's kind of harmonizing with that side of the family. Whereas when Eve moved in, the first people that she wanted to befriend, I'm pretty sure, was Catalea and Azora. So, she's obviously gone for the different side, whereas this one here, she's connected with the people that Juno and Kyra have connected with growing up. So, it's kind of intriguing. And she did manage to befriend Guinevere autonomously. I didn't even have to do anything. But what is going on with these two? Are they playing around with each other? Well, that's cute. But, yeah, I'll dive back in when Lagertha's ready to go. Okay guys, everyone is down here ready for Lagertha to deliver. I don't know where his son is, but the cutest thing, Griffin was actually cheering Lagertha, and I haven't seen this before. He was cheering, jumping up and down, thinking of her and cheering her on, just outside the doors here, and I thought that was so cute. But I also don't know, what's going on between Griffin, Lagertha, and Guinevere right now. It's a little bit of a weird situation. Oh, and here comes the father, Dylan Salazar, so he's present over here. Now, if Lagertha has a daughter at this point, then it will be the last vampiric child to be born in this generation, and the breeding season will officially be over. If it is a boy, then obviously the breeding season continues because we still need one more girl. Also, Lagertha is in a good position to have a girl right now because I've said this before, but the recent pattern has been 2 girls, a boy, 2 girls, a boy. So before this breeding, we had the queen have her daughter Bloom, and then before that, Catalea had a boy. So fingers crossed, things are gonna go well for us. And let's not waste any more time. Come on, Lagatha. Is she gonna be able to continue the Dravage line? I know a bunch of us have been wanting this, and we thought it wasn't possible. And lo and behold, she got another chance because she lucked out on the breeding order and the rate at which the girls were being born. But let's see, guys. Are we gonna get our one and only noble female? Like our one and only noble daughter? Are we or are we not? I do have my names list all ready to go. It's a boy! Guys, I swear, I think at this point, it's sure shot that our next generation is just going to be made up of princesses. Because, look at this. Look at this. Even with the pattern, we didn't luck out. We had a boy. Rodolfo? Okay, that's fine. So, Lord Rodolfo. I don't know if I like that name. Augustine? Augustine's nice. Lord Augustine. I don't know. Everett. Reed? Lord Reed? Actually, Reed's nice. Lord Reed Dravage. Okay, so her first son is Ari, Lord Ari, and her second son is Lord Reed. So she had a boy. Oh my goodness. So the breeding season is not over yet, guys. We still have one more baby girl to go. So there we go. I'm sorry, Lagatha. We were hoping that the Dravage line would continue, but she ended up having a boy. Now, obviously, Lagatha's in a much better position than, say, Catherine, because at least she has sons, and those sons will connect her to hopefully a girl's bloodline in the future. But for Catherine, she is going to be forgotten to time, I feel like, because not only has she passed on, but her only son Leon, he passed on, so, you know, he won't be able to breed with anyone and create that link between Catherine and a female in the future. So, I guess it's not that bad, but welcome, Lord Reed Dravage. So, okay, guys, when we come back next time, we do have a few things to do. Princess Diana needs to have her reading, so we'll see our priestess at work for the first time, our new priestess. And also, the queen is going to be getting back on the saddle, so the queen is going to have the next breeding, and at the rate at which things are going, it seems as though we might get our 6 princesses, so who knows? Time will tell. But okay, guys, with that said and done, I'm going to leave off. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.